It's insane that we live in a world where this is an actual title to an actual video that I'm actually making and actually recording. But here we are. Stephen A. Smith will likely go down as one of the biggest sports media figures of all time, and his contract alone says that. ESPN thinks that he's clearly generational, paying him NBA money on a 5-year $100 million contract that could potentially reach up to $120 million. And he is generational. He gets clicks. He gets subscribers. He gets comments. Oh, does he get comments? And most of them are not so polite, for understandable reasons. Parts of Stephen A. being so massive to ESPN are his egregious sports takes, which are often so bad that they go viral and you have to click on them. Stephen A. alone has said the following. Number 1, Shohei Ohtani shouldn't be the face of baseball because he needs an interpreter.
I don't think it helps that the #1 face is a dude that needs an interpreter.
Number 2, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Yes, Donald Cowboy Cerrone quit versus Conor McGregor. And any UFC fan knows how disrespectful this is to say, especially about one of the greatest fighters of all time.
You're seeing Cowboy Cerrone, who was the bigger guy, be done in like 15 to 20 seconds.
Number 3, Dwayne Haskins, a known pocket passer, is more of a runner than a thrower.
I just find him to be more of a runner than a thrower. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I find.
Number 4, Kawhi is the worst superstar of all time.
He is the worst superstar I have ever seen in sports.
Number 5, and most recently, Giannis Antetokounmpo is an underachiever.
Underachiever. I'm gonna tell you why. He's one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
I want to key in on that 4th point for a moment. Stephen A. Smith had the audacity to say that Kawhi Leonard, 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 75th anniversary team, top 75 player, 7-time All-Defensive and possibly one of the greatest defensive superstars of all time, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time NBA champion, and 2-time Finals MVP is the worst superstar of all time. Do you know how crazy that sounds? There are a plethora of NBA superstars that haven't even sniffed an NBA championship, let alone a single finals appearance. Kawhi has led 2 different franchises to championships, with one of those championships being the franchise's first ever. And Kawhi is the worst superstar of all time? So this history of egregious takes makes his take on Giannis Antetokounmpo even less surprising. And in this video, we will observe why Giannis is, in fact, one of the biggest overachievers in NBA history.
Bothered by Lowe's. Iverson. How about that? Steps over to Ron Lowe.
Before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I've been super consistent with the video to shorts connection, just like Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire in the pick and roll. Elite ball knowledge, I know. And appreciate your love and support. I've been super locked in, and just like Giannis,
The freak.
Stop! What is wrong with you?
He could be a freak on the court and on the shits.
Giannis Antetokounmpo will go down as one of the greatest players to ever play in the NBA. Born and raised in Athens, Greece, Giannis's initial draft day comparison was Nick Batum. And no disrespect to the infamous Nick Batum, French and 2K legend, but
floor seats, crypto, I got my tool in. 4th quarter yelling, why the f*** Batum in?
In fact, this initial draft day scouting report of Giannis has his last name spelled as Antetokounmpo. You cannot make this up. His listed weaknesses: level of competition, elite explosiveness, size, unnatural mechanics, consistent defense, and mid-range and pull-up jumper game. In hindsight, these notes seem silly, but at the time, these weaknesses were quite true. Giannis was skinny, raw, and a bit clumsy. He barely fit into his large Bucks jersey. Nobody really knew anything about him. Remember when Giannis was drafted? This was before the current era where foreign players and their level of competition was truly understood. I remember watching the 2015 dunk contest as a kid thinking,
Who the f*** is that guy? Who the f*** is that?
Since then, Giannis has gotten better every single year that he's been in the league, regardless of the stats. The scouts said he lacked competition. He now dominates the NBA. He apparently lacked elite explosiveness. He jumped over a man in an active basketball game. He lacked size and strength. Since then, he's grown 2 inches and gained about 52 pounds while maintaining his athletic ability. They question his mechanics. His mechanics have coined him the literal Greek freak, with maybe the most efficient Eurostep in the league. His mechanics have led to pure physical dominance that we have not seen since Shaq, which we'll get into later. They really were hesitant about his defense. Giannis has won a Defensive Player of the Year award, has been on the All-Defensive team 5 times, and is one of the best 1 through 5 and help side defenders in the league. In fact, no other player has won the Defensive Player of the Year at Giannis's usage level. Giannis's actual Defensive Player of the Year usage level was an extreme 37.3%. Only one other Defensive Player of the Year has even come close to that, Michael Jordan in 1987-88 at 33.9%. And of course, when you have less of a usage rate, you can play better defense because you're less tired on both ends. Everyone else has been under 30% usage rate in their Defensive Player of the Year season. So at Giannis level usage, the count is 1, and even at a 33% bar, it is just Giannis and MJ. His shooting ability was questioned. In the 2024-25 season, he shot 46% when 10 to 19 feet away from the rim. As a rookie, he only shot 14.6% from that distance. 2024-25 was his best mid-range season to date at 4.2 attempts a game. He even was able to get his three-point percentage up to 30.4% at its peak in the 2020 NBA season. Defenses that wall the paint now have to respect the pull-up or turnaround J. So clearly, those weaknesses are no longer exactly weaknesses. But now that's out the way, let's get into the actual greatness of Giannis. Giannis is a 2-time MVP, 1-time NBA champion, 1-time Finals MVP, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, 9 times All-NBA player, 5-time All-Defensive player, 9-time All-Star, and is a part of the 75th anniversary Top 75 Greatest Players of All Time team. He's one of only 3 players ever to own an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP in a career, the other 2 being Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. He also is one of 3 to win an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season on that list with the same names, MJ and The Dream. Mind you, Giannis also won a Most Improved Player award, meaning he was not simply always this great, clearly. In the 2023-24 season, he was the first player in NBA history to average 30-plus points per game on 60% field goal percentage and has the highest field goal percentage ever by a 30-point per game scorer. That season included a 64-point explosion against the Pacers, and he already owns 9 50-point scoring games, which is tied for 12th all-time. On March 31st, 2022, in a game where Giannis not only hit a game-tying 3, but also 2 free throws to ice the game in overtime, he surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the Bucks' all-time leading scorer and leads in several other categories. That puts him at the top of a franchise that features Kareem and Oscar Robertson in its history. Now let's get into that Shaq level of dominance I was referring to earlier. Think of all the back-to-back 40-point 10-rebound performances you have ever seen. Now think of all the back-to-back 40-point 10-rebound performances you have seen in the NBA Finals. Can't think of many, right? That's because Giannis and Shaq are the only ones to ever do it. Prime 2000 Shaq averaged 29.7 points per game on 57.4% shooting. Giannis has multiple seasons at 30 points per game with higher field goal percentage. He has peak Shaq scoring efficiency with more ball handling, shot making, and playmaking. Modern seasons show that Giannis is at the top of points in the paint at 21.6 points per game, underscoring a physical scoring profile few wings or forwards can replicate since prime Shaq. In the 2000 Finals, Shaq averaged 38 points per game, 16.7 rebounds per game, and 2.7 blocks per game while bullying Indiana for 6 games. That remains one of the most overpowering finals runs ever. And in the 2021 Finals, Giannis averaged 35.2 points per game, 13.2 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game for the series with a 50-point, 14 rebound, and 5 assist closeout game on 17 of 19 free throw shooting. Remember, Giannis has never been a great free throw shooter, but showed up in the most important game of his career. That is a modern Shaq level closer, barring the free throws, and it delivered the title. Shaq was a pure low post anchor who scored out of power steals and deep catches. Giannis gets to the same rim outcomes with face-ups, grab-and-go drives in transition, and spread pick and roll, then sprinkles in a mid-post turnaround. This is in no way saying that Giannis is better, but just proving how irrational it is to say that Giannis is an underachiever. Giannis compares to all of the bigs of all time. If peak Shaq is the measuring stick for interior dominance, Giannis is the modern version with ball handling and grab-and-go pace. If Hakeem is the two-way template, Giannis is the only active star with the same career club and a finals run that lives on short lists. If Duncan is the longevity bar for bigs, Giannis has not matched the 15 all-defensive seasons yet, but his offense plus defense peak is louder, and he still has at least 5 more years of dominance. By age 30, Giannis has cemented himself as a historic NBA player, future Hall of Famer, and arguably top 20 player of all time. If this resume isn't enough, then that word has lost its meaning. Giannis is always in MVP talks, and if MVP were actually an objective award, he would have more MVPs. Giannis already sits in one of the rarest historical clubs and keeps producing peak seasons that look like prime Shaq with a modern handle. His 2024-25 campaign was another franchise carrier year, as he averaged 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists on elite efficiency, had an MVP finalist resume, and had a one-of-one stat line that the league had literally never seen before. In single-season efficiency at superstar volume, Giannis has done something no one, not even Shaq, had done before with 30 on 60% shooting. That is the cleanest one-line stat that puts him beside the most dominant scorers ever. In playoff ceiling, his 2021 title run stacks with the very best bigs of the three-point era. In accolades, he already holds the MJ Hakeem trifecta, which is a strong answer to any claim that he has not done enough. So Stephen A., how can you be an underachiever when you had very few expectations going into the league and ended up on lists that include Michael Jeffrey Jordan? If that is not enough, the bar is imaginary. And we all know that Giannis, a kid from Athens, Greece, who just wanted to make his family proud, is a Hall of Famer, an all-time great, and an overachiever. If you got to this point, comment down some of Stephen A's worst takes of all time. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay true, stay you, from Just Drew.